Ooh, that sounds like a story prompt title, very cinematic. I'll take 1,500 wad to mean tilde 1,500 words and run with it. Here we go dizzy. She was a millionaire, he was just a mechanic, love changed everything. When Isabella Moreau's driver quit without notice on a rain-soaked Thursday afternoon, she didn't panic. She never panicked. At 32, Isabella was a self-made millionaire, the kind business magazines loved to photograph in minimalist offices with glass walls and skyline views. She owned 3 tech startups, 2 penthouses, and exactly 0 close friends. Her calendar was color-coded down to 5-minute intervals, and chaos had no permission to exist in her life. So when her silver Aston Martin sputtered, coughed, and died on the side of a quiet industrial road, Isabella simply exhaled, checked her phone, and called roadside assistance. What she didn't expect was him. The garage was small, old school, squeezed between a shuttered warehouse and a taco truck that smelled infuriatingly good. The sign above the door read, Rivera Auto and Repair, honest work, fair price. Isabella stepped out of her car in heels that cost more than some people's rent, rain tapping against her tailored coat. Inside the garage, the radio hummed softly, classic rock, she thought, and the air smelled like oil, metal, and something warm and human. Be right with you, a man called out. He emerged from beneath a lifted truck, wiping grease from his hands with a rag. He was tall, broad-shouldered, dark-haired, with forearms that suggested a life of real work, not meetings about work. Car trouble? He asked, flashing a grin that was easy, unpolished, and completely disarming. Yes, Isabella said crisply. The engine stalled. I need it fixed as quickly as possible. He nodded. I'm Matteo. Let's take a look. He didn't recognize her name when she gave it. That alone unsettled her more than the breakdown. Matteo Rivera had rebuilt engines before he rebuilt his life. After his father passed, the garage became his responsibility, and his refuge. He worked 6 days a week, sometimes 7, fixing other people's problems one broken machine at a time. He didn't dream big anymore. He dreamed steady. So when Isabella walked into his shop like she belonged in a different universe, Matteo assumed she'd be gone in an hour, tops. Except, she stayed. The repair took longer than expected. A rare part. A delayed delivery. Rain that turned into a storm. Isabella paced at first, tapping at her phone, irritation sharp beneath her calm exterior. Then the power flickered. The radio cut out, and for the first time in years, Isabella had nothing to do. You can sit, Matteo said, nodding toward a battered chair. Coffee's terrible, but it's hot. She hesitated, then surprised herself by sitting. They talked, slowly, awkwardly, then easily. She asked about the garage. He asked why someone like her drove herself instead of having a chauffeur. She laughed, really laughed, when he teased her about the car being too fancy for its own good. Hours passed. When the engine finally roared back to life, Isabella felt something unexpected. Disappointment. She came back the next week. Then again, sometimes for the car, sometimes for no reason at all. They were opposites in every measurable way. She lived in glass and steel, he lived in concrete and grease. Her world moved in stock prices and strategy meetings, his in bolts and timing belts. And yet, something clicked. Matteo didn't care about her money. He cared that she listened when he talked. That she tried to understand his world instead of dismissing it. Isabella didn't care that his bank account hovered near zero. She cared that he was honest. That when he said something, he meant it. That he saw her not as a brand or a success story, but as a woman who got lonely in penthouses meant for parties she never hosted. They fell in love quietly. Then loudly. The problems came, as they always do. Her board didn't approve. This is a distraction, one investor warned. Optics matter, Isabella. Her friends, what few she had, were less subtle. A mechanic, one asked, eyebrows raised. What's next, a barista? Matteo felt it too. The looks, the unspoken judgment when he stood beside her at charity events, his hands still scarred from work. One night, after an argument neither of them wanted but both felt brewing, Matteo pulled away. You deserve someone who fits, he said. Someone from your world. Isabella's voice broke. I don't want my world. I want you. Still, doubt is corrosive. They separated for 3 months. And everything felt wrong. Isabella threw herself into work, and felt emptier than ever. Matteo focused on the garage, but every car reminded him of her. Then one morning, Isabella did something no one expected. She sold one of her companies. Not for profit, for purpose. She invested in vocational programs. Apprenticeships. Small, family-owned repair shops struggling to survive. She stood on stages and talked about dignity and skilled labor, about work that keeps the world moving even if it never trends online. The media went wild, and then she walked back into Rivera Auto and Repair. Mateo stared at her, stunned. "I don't need you to change," she said softly. "But I changed, and I know what matters now." He crossed the garage in 3 steps and pulled her into his arms, grease and all. They didn't become a fairy tale overnight. Life stayed messy, different, real, but love, real love, has a way of rearranging priorities. Years later, Rivera Auto became a training hub. Isabella worked fewer hours. Mateo took his first vacation. They argued, laughed, built something together that neither money nor pride could buy. She was still a millionaire. He was still a mechanic. And together, they were everything. If you want a more dramatic soap opera version, a shorter YouTube-style narration, or this rewritten as a viral Facebook story or script, just say the word relieved face 1500 WAD.